Well, hello out there, all you wounded people. I am Jennifer Lovett, the Wounded Healer, and today I'm going to be discussing a topic of how to stop poisoning yourself. I know what you're thinking. What the heck does she mean by that? Well, I'll tell you what poisons yourself and your mind and eventually even your body is envy, jealousy, and greed. Did you ever go to a funeral or you go to the house afterward and you see everyone being all greedy and they all sneaking through the house and take stuff and the person's not even under the ground and they're all worried about what am I going to get? What am I going to get? Or they steal inheritances and things like that. It's crazy the lengths people go to. Because then they get jealous that this person got this, and then that's why I put greed, envy, and jealousy. Envy and jealousy are a lot alike, and I've been researching and looking in this a lot. They are a lot alike, but they do have differences, and all of these behaviors are completely toxic. Jealousy. It when I was reading about it, it's the desire to be someone or to be with someone. I'm sure you guys have all seen people be in high school or college or in life extremely jealous, obsessive, which that's a behavior, you know. The I find that when I've been reading in these books that both of these, all of these are toxic, destructive behaviors. And most of the people that have them, they're overly self-centered behaviors. And when I said earlier about greed and envy are a lot alike, they're like twins. Greed is more of, from what I'm reading, possessions. And envy, it goes a step further, where you desire the possessions of others. You know, so if you're at that funeral, you're at the reading, and people do all kind of bad things to make sure you get no inheritance. It's it's crazy the lengths people go to because of greed and envy. And something else in my readings that it was greedy people really lack empathy, and they will cause pain with no regret. And it's all of these are very destructive. And something I found interesting in my reads, men are more jealous of the physical infidelity and women are more, I should say, jealous of the emotional infidelity. That was surprising to me. Or I guess maybe not. You know, us women wouldn't want our husbands doing emotional connection with someone on their phone, and men really don't want someone to touch their women. So I guess that shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. So I was reading about, all of this, and Cain and Abel came up in the Bible, where you have the two brothers, and they were giving possessions up to God. And I believe it was Abel gave up, he was the sheep herder, and he gave up his most prized possession one. And Cain, he was a farmer for crop, and he just gave crappy old vegetables and stuff. Ended up, he didn't know why his brother gave his best one. Well, it started obsessing and taking over him, and he thought God favored him because his gift was much better than his, but it was all in his head. And he ended up killing his brother, and God, as his punishment, said, oh, I guess what, your grounds, they're not going to be fertile anymore. Because when all of these take over and you do these bad things, God up here, or spirits, or whatever your higher being is, takes over for karma. And so that's what happened in that story. And when I said I've been reading a lot about these, there is a book by, he's a pastor, Andy Stanley. It was a good book, Enemies of the Heart. And it will really change some of the habits you formed in your life. So if you're out there and you're dating someone that's showing signs of jealousy, they're insecure and they need to work on themselves. So I'm going to start giving you stuff here because I'm this close to getting my certificate for life coach. And if you notice those things in a friend, a sibling, your spouse, there's something much deeper that needs dived into to fix it. So something, if you're going to have these traits happen in your life that cause that to be there. Like, I'm talking like obsessive ones, not just, everyone has a little bit of greed, envy, and jealousy. Everyone has a little bit. But it gets to the point where it's overbearing. You know, like a husband can't even look at a magazine of a pretty girl, even look at a pretty girl. Come on. I'll tell you this much. If my husband and I are at a beach and a hot girl walks by, he's going to look. Because if a hot guy walks by, I'm going to look. It's eye candy. Why get jealous? You're not going home with them. And if you're jealous because you're thinking, oh, look how good she's built in that, work on yourself. See, that's what I'm saying. All this is, it might be up here, something that happened to you as a child that's causing this to happen. Or maybe it was something you were in relationships where people cheated. You need to clear that out and get it fixed and healed so that you can move on and get rid of those traits. And things that I find that I don't really have these traits, but maybe because I've always been generous. If you are generous to people even when you don't have it, you'll see that when you do need it, you get it back in return. And be loving and kind and compassionate. And when you do those good, positive things, they do come back to you. I promise you, not everyone's going to give it back to you. You're always going to have those people that they're just not like that. But the majority of people out there, if you live your life that way, it will get the poison out of you. Wait, let me rephrase that. You won't have the poison in you. But if you do have it, and you change your ways and your behaviors, and you get rid of those bad patterns, bad destructive patterns, you'll stop poisoning yourself, and good things will start happening in your life. I don't want to go on, and I don't want to drag on. I went through the story of Cain and Abel, and I told you about the book, and how if you have these traits and you notice it's not just that little once in a while greed or once in a while little jealousy, like I said, everyone has a little bit in them. If you notice people with traits that it's a little strong, just speak to someone and get it fixed, or work on yourself and figure out what it is to get rid of that toxic, poisoning behavior. Remember, I said I was going to go into my story, and one day I'll tell you that. I'm not going to go into details until later, but all these things I'm talking about will eventually be involved with my story. It's not over yet. Yeah. So be generous, kind, and loving and compassionate. And if you know someone that's experiencing that, either A, if you're with someone and you're dating that has these behaviors, try to get them fixed. And if they can't, it's never going to change. Get out. People don't change. You need to lead your own path in life, and you're going to have many roadblocks, but you can avoid a lot of the roadblocks. And I wish I would have listened to someone with a lot of things and choices in my life. I'm not saying I had a horrible life, I had a hard life. And I did lead by being generous, loving, kind, and compassionate, and I don't have any obsessive behaviors. But I've made some poor choices. Everyone has in their life. But you learn from them, and they make you stronger. Boy, am I strong. I can't wait to tell you my story one day. And not that it's a good thing. It's not. But I've been through so much. I'm out here to help you all. So, to all of you out there, if you're having a rough day and you know, it's been hard with stuff going on, because I've had a lot of rough stuff happen to me in the past 4 months. A lot of really wild things. I just wake up and I roll out of bed. And you know what? I lead my life being an honest, good, generous, loving, and kind and compassionate person. But I also wake up in the morning and I put a big smile on my face because I know that today I'm going to make it a better day than what yesterday was. It's all in what you put into it. So all of you out there, I hope you have a great evening and put a smile on your face if you're ever stressing out. It helps. Trust me. It's helped me. Have a good one, y'all. And I hope I've helped you out a little bit. Take care.